What's up, everybody? It's Quentin from Hunters of Light, and I think it's Monday. I have no idea what day it is. They all seem to flow into each other this weekend. I work both days. But what do you do? It's just one of those things. Today, we've got Jodie on with us. She is going to be talking creative management and production. I've been nagging her for, I mean, we got more of your team on in the meantime than we've had on, during the time we've been trying to get you on. But I'm really excited to hear about the creative management side, and then also for you to give us insights on the sort of production side of things. And I mean, we were speaking earlier on about there's a lot of people who do photography for a living, but have never been in a situation where you've got sitting on some folded deck chairs or couch where you've got studio guy, art director, creative director, executive creative director, stylists, production, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Where it is a bigger production than just, pitch up and shoot some things. So I think that's going to be really, really cool to get into. Yeah, I mean, I think the first part is we should just see what you've been doing under lockdown. I know you've been busy. As people that run these global companies, we just got to be busy all the time. But maybe just let's get into that first. What have you been doing? I know you're busy again now. But what?
Yeah, so we didn't really stop during lockdown, in the sense that we were making sure that all of our photographers and our creatives, formed a community, and were always a bit like what you've been doing, of course, which is amazing. So everyone was talking to each other. We were doing webinars. We were putting people together to put forward presentations of what they were doing in lockdown. We have photographers that are not just here in South Africa, but Saunders, for example, who's in Paris, Andrea Baioni, who's in Milan in Italy. So it was interesting also getting their perspectives and bringing that into the mix.
And I suppose they have, so their lockdowns are at different strengths and different times. So yeah, you can't really just sit down and say, well, I can't do anything this week. Yeah,
completely. And then, we're also trying to figure out exactly how we were going to be able to move ahead, sort of like in the industry and environment that we're in, and what we could do within lockdown. And it was quite a nice challenge to actually see what photographers could produce from home. We even had an ad campaign that we did for Santam with Tatendo, who actually shot it, which we were able to do during lockdown within the regulations and restrictions.
Yeah.
And just like spending the time to understand, this new environment, and taking the time for our photographers to maybe work on personal stuff that they never had the time to do before. So it was interesting. I mean, it's been different times for sure, but I don't think there's no one that's come out of this and said it's been a total negative either. So in that sense, it's been quite interesting.
Absolutely. I think there's hopefully a lot of people have done some personal work, some education. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube and etc. Or the creative live stuff, masterclass and etc. I think there's, if you have just been sort of sitting around hosting, live streams and not been doing that, you're in a bit of trouble. Because it's important, otherwise you get a bit sort of rusty and lethargic, etc. So I think those, especially now when it's starting to ease a bit, I think the guys really need to get out and start shooting some stuff, even if they don't have client work yet. Because I think, I can't remember who it was, I think it might have been Ennik van Renen, that when we were talking to him about, shooting stuff that, that you love as a personal project, and then, people picking up on that and booking you for jobs because of what you did with that. And I think that's important. I don't do enough of it. I keep talking about it, but but I think it's important, you find, and that's also a way that you find your style, when it comes 100%. To that.
100%. And then I think during this lockdown, what's been interesting, or actually during this whole moment, is that there's been a lot more work that you can do, proactively for nonprofits and for people who really need the help and need the work, and thereby also fulfilling many things. So it's not only your passion, but also being able to help people during this time, which as a photographer or a creative, you feel like it's quite hard to do sometimes. So that's been nice too. you know.
Absolutely. Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to the creative management side,
Okay.
because then I can get hints and tips and you know, find out if I can send you my CV. But anyway, let's go over to you.
Okay, excellent. I'm going to share my screen with you.
Cool.
So hold on 1 second. And let's hope everything works beautifully today.
Oh, it will. It will.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so let me just reduce this little, where are you now? Over there somewhere. Sorry, I'm just trying to reduce. No, let me go back. Yeah, so just to talk a little bit about Lampost, we've been going for 12 years now. And just to give you a bit of background, I actually worked in the industry as a fashion and advertising stylist before I started Lampost. So I had a lot of experience of working with photographers, you know, many different advertising and fashion photographers, doing a bit of work for different magazines where I would be responsible for sort of like working with the latest urban subcultures, like fun stuff. And I mean, a lot of fashion stuff that I did, but also a lot of advertising. So when I started Lampost, we actually started the company, when I say we, because I always think of us, the team as the greater me. I never think of it just as me, it never is. Yeah, we started with a character-based company, and then photographers and the creatives actually came slightly later, in the sense that I was a bit nervous to start a company that I didn't feel like I could completely commit to. So we did it quite organically, you know, and as we went along. So Ross Garrett and Sasha Waldman were actually the first two who joined my board. And, you know, we've had a long relationship. Ross is someone I really respect and admire. Like, you know, I love all of the guys that are on my board. And we keep quite a tight-knit community of photographers. You know, I work with photographers. I try not to let anyone's style compete against the other person's style. I think that was one of the fundamental things when we went into representing photographers. We didn't want to have too many styles that were similar in a way. So we wanted to be able to offer variety and be able to showcase their talent and their work to the best of ability, and also not have any sort of comparisons. Well, why did I get that job but the other guy did, or the other woman did? So it was important that. So we've got quite an established board, and we've got an emerging board of young talent, which is also really exciting. And along with Lampost, we have a sister company in Cape Town called Lustre. And Lustre represents more international-based photographers to a degree, and it's a different board in the sense that, you know, we've always worked for the international market down in Cape Town, you know, whereas in Joburg, even though we have a lot of internationals, there's people that really want to shoot on the continent. So whether it be sort of like the funky fashion magazines or all the brands that want to shoot in South Africa, but for Africa as such, you know, the work would more be here in Johannesburg for them.
Okay, that's interesting, because I might be wrong, but it feels as though Cape Town has got more of that part of the market cornered, you know, and maybe that's more sort of the TV type stuff.
Are you talking about the work, the international work specifically? Yeah, I mean, in a way, like German, British, Italian, certainly for a certain type of international market. But I'd say clients who want to shoot here, like Nike, will shoot for Africa.
Right.
Or any of the clients that want to shoot that have like a footprint within Africa would shoot here. And you get sort of like edgier magazines like Dazed and Confused or Another Man. They want to come to Joburg rather than Cape Town, because they don't want the stereotypical, you know, but more sort of like European look. So we definitely have a different handwriting and signature here. I would say the Johannesburg market is more authentically African in that sense, whereas the Cape Town market is not. It appeals to European, to American, to all over.
That's a very good point. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so on our, just in terms of artist management and representation, we have a main board of artists, which are made up of photographers, makeup artists, and stylists. And those are all really top-end, amazing people that we've worked with for a long time. And then on our Rise Emerging Artist Board, we represent photographers along with stylists, hair and makeup that are also, you know, our new young guns to represent. And then this year we started a nonprofit, and this was based on the fact that we felt there was a gap in the market for women photographers, for African women photographers specifically. So we wanted to work with 4 photographers. We put a call out to start a fellowship and a nonprofit. And specifically that we wanted to address the fact that we felt like this was something that was just not happening quick enough in South Africa, and probably not Africa as a whole on the continent, but we want to start here in South Africa with the hope that Lampost Luminaries will be a fellowship that will actually have its reach into Africa. We can open it up to female photographers on the continent.
I think it's such a cool idea. You know, it was initiative. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. No, it's been amazing. And, you know, like we were just discussing now about the community of photographers, you know, they are all mentored. Our Lampost Luminaries are mentored by our photographers and videographers. And they've been incredible. I mean, you know, the kind of knowledge, the projects that they've worked on with them have been incredible, and giving up so much of their time and energy. And it's been, I think, amazingly rewarding for everybody, you know. So we fully fund that. We have a sponsor from Nikon, Middle East and Africa, which is fantastic. And this has been going since February, so it's still pretty new. So please follow us on this, because they're doing some really interesting stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, it would be great to, you know, to do a prezo or two with them if you sure. want to do that. I think that'd be very, very cool. And I mean, one of the things that I'm really excited about for the Hunters of Light is featuring creators not just from South Africa, but, you know, our borders up into Africa and worldwide. Because I think that, you know, each country has got a different angle, a different voice. And I think that, you know, if we look at it from a female perspective, I think that's just also a completely different, you know, angle that we can look at. So I'm more than happy to, you know, to have them on to do some prezos. So, you know, if you got something in mind, let me know.
Yeah, so we've just had the latest project that they've done. It's been with Sanche Folok, who's the ECD at Avatar, which we're waiting to launch on between 10 and 5 platform. Yeah. But what's nice is that they were given a specific project, and it would be really nice for them to talk about that. Because, you know, each month they're doing different projects. Now they're working on a film project, so it's very exciting.
That's so cool. That's so cool. I love it.
So yeah, so just to, I mean, I don't know if anyone's got questions on creative management, but just to, I suppose, come back to the idea that you probably have a lot of freelancers. I'm not sure if most of them are freelancers or hobbyists on your Facebook group.
It's quite a spread. I would say just, you know, by fact of the nature of the industry, there's a fair amount of hobbyists, a fair amount of sort of semi-pro people, and obviously, you know, a group of pros as well. But you know, so I think it's a spread. You probably find that most of the people on the group don't really know what creative management is. So you know.
Yeah, so we basically manage and represent photographers. So makeup artists and hairstylists, obviously. We don't want to leave anybody out of the pot. And we're responsible for making sure they're marketed correctly, making sure they are looked after on shoot, that everything's quoted correctly, that all invoicing is chased. So basically, all the admin and marketing is taken out of the function, that role. But of course, like anything, it's got to be a good partnership. You know, I think someone said to me once, you know, when you're looking for an agent, what should you be looking for? And I really think that it's, you know, first of all, got to be a partnership where you both put in as much as you want to get out of it. And also, like in anything, let's say you're a partnership in a business, you know, you need to make sure that you have similar values. You need to make sure that you know, have a similar mindset so that you can move forward like in any business. So yeah, and it's exciting. And like we are able, because we do production, we work a lot with our clients. We're able to propose our photographers and offer a whole 360 solution to a shoot, where they would come to us with one project. Let's say it could be a campaign for a cellular provider, or I'll be showing you new APSA image library that we did, and we will basically take the concept from the beginning to the end. We'll do all the model casting, the locations, the hair and makeup, propose them, but basically a one-stop shop, which can include the photographers, which is great, and videographers at the stage.
And that's very cool, because you obviously have a relationship with them. You know what to expect, what the delivery will be, etc. So it's good for you guys, because you know the people you work with. It's good for the client, because they know they're going to get a fantastic job. So that's a pretty good solution all the way around.
Yes, yeah. So it's exciting. So I wanted to share with you some of the work that we've been doing, which has been both shot in South Africa, but we've also had the occasion to shoot within Africa, and also quite a nice project in Qatar, which I actually did with Michael Lewis, which was for their brand Qatar. So yeah, so this is an image library that we did. Quentin, I'm not putting out my pictures on the side of us. Am I covering up anything here? Because
it's a little bit on the top right, but it's not covering any of the images.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So we did this image library for APSA, which was fantastic. We did this was with Paul Samuels. So we did a beautiful portrait shoots in studio, which is, so you'll be seeing this around. I mean, they're going to be using this for quite a while. And then we did a lot of location shots and beautiful lifestyle images with Warren van Rensburg. And I don't know if you can see, but I mean, my office is surrounded by photography. In fact, my husband says, can you please stop buying photography? Because yeah, just doesn't
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. And then this, I just want to show some of the beautiful work that we've done, like for corporate clients in South Africa, like this APSA Elia.
That is really amazing. I love it. The more you look at it, the cooler it is. I love it.
I know. Isn't it stunning? And they worked with the most incredible body painter on this as well. You can imagine how long these images took to produce, considering how long that takes.
Yeah.
Play this little.
Jeepers.
Let's just play it. So they did quite a lot of these gifts, which I thought were really stunning as well. It was quite nice to show that.
Yeah, because you when you look at it as a still, you think, well, maybe there was a bit of retouching and etc.
Yeah,
but as soon as they move away and you see that is actually as it is as a painting, you realize how amazing the body painting is.
Yeah, the attention to detail. It's beautiful. So we worked. I get quite excited to obviously work on these beautiful local projects, but I do like the travel ones, I must admit. So I'm the first one to put up my hand.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I'll go and sit on a boat.
On a dhow. Yeah. So we had this opportunity to work on an amazing brand campaign for Qatar, the country, we Michael Lewis and Grid Worldwide were tasked with the idea of coming up with these iconic imagery. So, and working in different countries where you haven't traveled there before, first of all, it can be a bit of a challenge. And secondly, at the time that we went, I remember us coordinating this production, and we were really trying to shoot there in winter. By the time the client accepted everything, we ended up being there and shooting there in summer, which was just crazy. I mean, I've never experienced heat like that. I mean, to the point where we were going to do some helicopter shots, and the helicopters just couldn't take off because of the humidity. So we would be like in the helicopter waiting to take off with all the security sitting next to us, and come back the next day to see whether we could take off. But so we did these iconic shots of the Museum of Islamic Art, and then obviously the oryx, which is it's like our springbok. It's their national symbol, animal. But I mean, just incredible landscapes, and just it is so incredible to be able to shoot in other places that are just nothing similar to your own.
It's amazing how that works. Hey, you know, you go to whatever it is. Let's say it's Zanzibar, and you just go, oh, that's amazing, and you shoot that. And the person that's sitting next to that door looks at you going, what an idiot, you know. But it's all context. You know, you're new to it. It's exciting for you, and you know. So absolutely, I think you as soon as you get out of your, and again, I suppose it's sort of comfort zones as well from a creative point of view. Once you step out of that, you do get more excited, etc. So it's another good reason to get off your backside and go and shoot personal projects.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, actually, one of the things that I probably didn't mention, but I should have, in the creative management side of when, you know, we're updating our artist portfolios, that honestly, the thing that sells them the most to our clients is their personal work. And because there's heart and there's soul and there's the craft, you know, everything is there. You're not just listening to a client brief. Yeah, so this shot was actually a helicopter shot that we did, which was really cool. And I must say, even the helicopter, we were damn hot in that helicopter because it was just, you know, nothing was cool enough there.
Yeah, it's not like it's blowing cold air on you, hey?
No, not with the doors open and a photographer hanging out, no. Yeah, and then we do a lot of work with, and have done a lot of work with Nike, so both on a local level and for global. And I must say, it's one of the things that I love working with athletes, dancers. I guess I'm completely fascinated and, you know, just intimidated by, you know, their sportiness, and I love it, you know. So any chance for me to be on a sports shoot, I'm also the first one to put up my hand out of the team. So yeah, so we've ended up working with a lot of sort of Olympic athletes and a lot of incredible people, and they're just such a pleasure to deal with. You know, a lot of sports people, all the rugby players, soccer players. Yeah, very privileged. And I want to show you, because we actually, we've ended up producing a lot more film than I thought. You know, suddenly when I was going through our portfolio, I was like, oh, yeah, this is cool. You know, we can show this piece. And we did this with Nike Global, and it was with Castor Semenya and an amazing director called Martin Sims. So I thought I'd just show you this. It's very cool.
What I want to be, what I want to become, being on the track, being free, being what I love. I'm one kind of an athlete. I run my own race. It's all about me. I've learned to appreciate people for who they are. But first it comes with me appreciating myself and loving myself.
Yeah, so that was really cool, because we got to work with, although he didn't come out, Virgil Abloh, who works on this. He has this collection, Off-White. That's his label, actually, but he's a big name designer. So they sent out these incredible shoes, and yeah, it was just unbelievable. And what was interesting about that project is that when Nike got hold of us, they said, listen, we would like you to put together an all-female team to work on this. So, you know, that's unusual for us because now we have female directors, female photographers, you know, we're a female-based company, and, you know, so all the assistants, you know, everyone we were trying to put together was more female-based, which was rare, you know, for that.
Absolutely.
And then I'm moving to Ethiopia, where we shot Nike Zoom with the DIBABA, the incredible DIBABA sisters. You know, these are Olympic athletes. They are, you know, they're called the fastest family in the world because they've just got the gene pool, and all of them are these incredible runners, you know, Olympic runners, Olympic gold medalists. And actually, Tatenda was on that shoot with us. He came with me to Ethiopia, and he ended up shooting the stills of the shoes, which was an amazing opportunity for him too.
Cool.
Yeah, but we here again, sort of going to a country where there's not a lot of infrastructure for shooting. It was interesting, and it was a challenge. So like even trying to find something that could potentially be a tracking vehicle for a film that we wanted to do. We struggled to find a vehicle, and eventually I found a 3-wheeler paraplegic's motorbike to strap the photographer on the back of and send them around, you know, because you have to make up, you know, there's challenges. So, you know, you don't have the usual high tech, you don't have the equipment there, you don't have what you would normally find in any other country. You have to make a plan, you know, which is fine.
Absolutely.
But it's good. It makes you think out of the box. You know?
Exactly. And that's a very important skill to have. I thought you were going to say that, you know, the photographer was strapped to the back of a guy on one of those motorbike taxis, because, you know, wherever you go in Africa, there's the motorbike taxis. and
you know, the photographer, Cass Bird, I mean, it was their first time in Africa.
Wow.
So not even coming to, I don't know, you know, like a country that the infrastructure is a little bit more ideal for shooting.
Yeah.
You know, they're very, very, of course, all the Americans were super jet lagged by the time they got to Addis. So it was tricky, you know, having to deal with, like, all of the team were from the States. So different part of the States, from New York or
sure.
all over.
That must mean a culture shock of note, hey?
Completely. Yeah, but I want to show you that this actually gives a very good idea.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that really gives you the essence of actually what it was like. I mean, you know, the runners, these Olympic runners, they're running in the fields all the time. They're running amongst the cows, and it's so different, you know, and just also trying to be at that altitude. You know, I am used to going to ski, actually, but dealing at, like, trying to work at 3,000 meters, you know, like it's normal. It's incredibly different and challenging in its own way, you know.
Yeah, I suppose every location has got those challenges. You know, you don't have roads that are, you know, tarred, etc. And if there's a bit of a rain, you know, deluge the day before, the week before, that road might not be possible to get to where you need to go to. So there's definitely challenges.
Yeah, no, we actually ended up encountering on that particular shoot, because we went back for the second day, and I think, you know, we had mapped out this route where we were going to go down to a field, and it just poured. So you know, we had these trucks trying to drop off some kind of a portable toilet, which also wasn't easy to access there. I mean, you'd think something like that, but it was tricky, you know. And then we have, you know, the guys don't worry about that kind of stuff, but, you know, you've got girls on the shoot.
Absolutely.
Don't worry. Yeah, and then we've been shooting in Nigeria for Nike as well, for the Women's World Cup. So during the Women's World Cup was a really nice opportunity. We actually shot the South African team as well. But the Nigerian, I mean, their kit was the best in the world, actually. And then, yeah, I've been shooting in Kenya with a really beautiful brand that I ended up doing about 3 years of their campaigns, Edun, which was actually owned by Bono from U2 and his wife, along with LVMH. And, you know, beautiful brand. Everything was made in Kenya. So we've done a shoot there. We've done some stuff in South Africa, but this was really great. So it was also, again, you know, finding your models from there, sort of like scouting the locations. It's all the challenge, you know, when it's new places. But this was a really beautiful outcome. So we shot this with KRISTEN LEEMOOLMAN, who I've worked with and do work with, you know, often when she's here in the country, who I love from the fashion perspective. Her work is really beautiful. So yeah, so this was like a campaign that we did for the same label, but down in Durban. And this was just sort of finding some tarp on the beachfront, you know. KRISTEN used this as a backdrop. But yeah, you know, really cool brands. And then more recently, before lockdown, we did this really beautiful shoot for Tebe Magugu. You know, he was the LVMH Fashion Week mentorship winner. So he had to produce some images, and he wanted to go back to his hometown, Kimberley, to shoot this collection, where he showed it as an exhibition at Paris Fashion Week in Feb. So, you know, we went back to his community, and he used schoolgirls and kids. We took a couple of models from Johannesburg, but what was really beautiful about this is that he really wanted to do homage to his family and to his heritage and to his place. So it was really amazing. Like, we met some of his family. Some of this was shot at his home, in his local church. You know, really beautiful stuff.
I love the look of them. You know, it's
yeah,
you know, just the it's got I suppose a uniquely African feel to it. The way that they're sort of posing, and that I don't know. You know, I'm sure that there's people who know more about this stuff than I do, but it's just, for me, it just speaks to the continent that we live on, and I absolutely love the style of that.
Yeah, the color and the texture. You're right.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
there is definitely something about this. And actually, this is Tebe's uncle on the right.
Okay.
So it was really nice to I also love working with we call them real people.
Yes.
You know, not just models, and characters, people that have, you know, from all walks of life. I think it's amazing. You know, fascinates me. And then we went to this lake. It's privately owned, but they have millions of flamingos. Wow. Millions. But I didn't realize flamingos they are very shy. I mean, you come within like a kilometer of them, and then the whole pack of them have like moved, you know, just away. So
you were hoping for flamingos in the background.
Yeah, no, we were. I was like thinking, okay, how do you herd some flamingos? I was like, trying to think of any other experience that I've had with animals, and, you know, what's the little test, but they weren't having any of it. So we were on this large expanse of water, and actually these models we put in bricks, where these models were carried to the spot in the water. We were all like, I don't know, knee high in mud to get
and
these shots.
And flamingo poo.
And yeah, exactly. And you know, whatever that green mulch is that they eat.
Yeah, exactly.
And this was kind of a fun project. So KRISTEN LEEMOOLMAN was asked by Document Journal, which is an amazing magazine, to come up and do a shoot with Bottega Veneta, with one of their collections. So they basically sent out these boxes full of their collections, and she could conceptualize whatever she liked. And it was incredible. I mean, you know, she did sort of like a modern African ninja vibe. And, you know, we found a farm just outside of Joburg. I think the farmer thought we were like nuts with what we came up with, like putting smoke bombs on his farm and running around.
I would love to have seen the behind the scenes footage of him watching you out of the bucky and going, yes, like.
And actually, funny enough, that same week, KRISTEN really wanted to do a shoot with a makeup artist, and she asked us to organize these snakes, these pythons.
Yeah.
So we went back to the farm with these, like, I don't know, 3-4 foot long pythons, albino pythons that had luckily been fed before they were on the shoot, and they all got a little bit more crazy. You know, this was actually the tame day, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, let me show you this. This is actually quite a cool video that she did on the back of this. Yeah, see, that's a poor, we set that poor farm on fire. No, we didn't. It was already like that.
I tell you what, it's quite an interesting, you know, African ninja type.
It is cool. It's very wonky.
Absolutely, very cool.
Well, you know, with fashion, you can always
Exactly, yeah,
more, you know.
Exactly.
And I decided to, like, I had some cool behind the scenes that I thought I would add into this presentation because I thought it was quite nice to see how we do like our little makeshift setup. You know, we've got a really amazing production van. It's like, it's, you know, fully kitted out, sort of got a makeup area and a bathroom and everything on it, you know, sort of like a perfect Africa burn vehicle if you try and go there again. But, you know, it's perfect for these kind of locations where you just have no power and you need a setup. So yeah, it's really cool.
Very cool.
Doing stuff outside is great. And yes, those boys, they all had contact lenses on, so you don't have to worry that they do have.
Yeah, that was quite freaky, hey? One
End.
pupil bigger than the other one.
Yeah, and I mean, I love all of these different characters, you know, girl boys, boy girls, you know, don't know, you know, one side or one kind of character from the next. And I think it's really exciting actually to play around with it. And then locally we did this collection for Clive Rundle, who's a really good fashion designer, top South African fashion designer, with Justin Dingwall, who I think made it look so beautiful. This actually was part of a big art exhibition that happened over in Nirox. So, you know, they had a beautiful art exhibition there, and he actually had printed these and made like whole cubes, like massive cubes with these images, which looks really stunning. So this was a fun one to produce. Sorry, this is my last video for you guys, but you're gonna like this. This is less wonky. Yeah, so one of our videographers, Ed Blithno, he shot this, which is really beautiful.
It's very cool. I think the way that it's been shot and the location and the clothes all just tie in so well together.
Yeah, I mean, so this was called the Urban Nomad.
Yeah.
And it's actually shot in Clive Rundle's garden. He's got the most incredible garden.
Yeah. Looks like a super bohemian garden.
Yeah.
Fantasy plants and pathways around corners, and
I love that. It always like feels like a bird.
Yeah.
Bird blowing. Yeah, so those are the kind of projects that we love doing as passion projects, I'd say. So we get involved in a lot of fashion work with designers, because also, you know, we like to work with designers and help push them, especially the young designers. So we're always trying to do new work with them, you know, even proactive work, which I think, you know, benefits everybody, because it's always fashion and beauty. And yeah, this is my last shoot I'm going to show you for this presentation. We went to the Drakensberg to go and shoot this beautiful story for Another Man, which is a really great British magazine. And yeah, this was a lot of fun. I mean, I think the Drakensberg is just one of the most beautiful locations. And, you know, we have so many locations in South Africa that are just, you know, as creatives, probably not even thinking about and getting to. But I ended up working with Michael Lewis on South African tourism for about 5 years, and with Nick van Rienen. So we ended up traveling a lot of this country. So really fortunate to be able to see and find new places to shoot. And this was one of them. You know, it was crazy running around the mountains and these, like, I mean, it was every top designer you can think of. You know, I hate to think, we were like, you know, jumping over fences with barbed wire, running around in the fields. It was nuts, you know, but
in a one-off jacket shirt combo.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's me. A little bit of my work that I wanted to show you and talk about.
No, that's very cool. I think there's some fantastic images there. You know what we're going to do? Let's do this. Let's put us next to each other like that. Yeah. So like we seem like we're friends. Okay, there we go.
Like sharing. I'm not sharing anymore, right?
No, we can see you now. Yeah, I think that's I love the behind the scenes stories and pictures, etc. I think it really helps to tell the story of what's there, because a lot of times you'll see what the end result is, but you know, it's, for me, the stories behind it are really, really interesting. So maybe what we can, if I can just ask, so how would you go about choosing people to be on your board? So what is that sort of process?
So generally photographers would reach out to us and send us their portfolios, and we start the conversation from there. You know, then it involves a meeting. As I mentioned, you know, we really try not to have photographers that have too much of a similar identity or look on our books, because, you know, we just don't want them to be sort of fighting each other for a similar kind of work. It's not really fair.
You want a happy family.
We want to make the same level fair.
Yeah. The new girl is getting all the work.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it happens that, you know, there is the new next hot young thing maybe that's out there, and there always will be beautiful new talent that comes out. But, you know, what we generally like to do is, before we take on a photographer, we try and do a project with them, because as much as it is, you know, you've got this amazing portfolio full of work, or maybe only a very small portfolio, we need to see how quickly you shoot, how you are with clients, how you are on shoot, what, you know, if we don't know you personally, and a lot of the guys we've had a relationship with, so, you know, they've come on from being assistants, and they've grown with us, and we've grown with them. So for someone that we have no relationship with, it's tricky. You know, Absolutely. You want to see what their personality is like. So it's not just about the work, you know, it's about the work ethic. It's about everything else.
Absolutely. I mean, the thing with any of the sort of bigger productions is that it's a team. You know, if you have one person that's a bit stompy and moody, you know, that can affect the whole team. And then, you know, it's not a comfortable place to work in. So absolutely, that's for sure. And then, you know, as far as I had a question here from, or I think it was Gustav, I don't know if it was relating to models or the photographers, but he was saying, we've been helping models to enter the industry because we saw a lot of people who will do photo shoots but never get anywhere. I'm assuming the models. How would you choose a photographer to shoot without so many wannabe photographers out there that sometimes exploit young girls' potential? Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the question was there, but I suppose from a model point of view, how it's, I suppose, the same process as any modeling agency. You know, you see the look that your clients are wanting. You know, maybe just go through that process. How do you pick up the models on your books?
Yeah, so on our character board specifically, you know, we work with models, so we will cast models ourselves. We won't necessarily be our models, but we try to look for originality and those that are comfortable in their own skins, that enjoy being in front of the camera. I mean, like our board specifically was for natural talent. So we didn't want anybody who was posy or more model-like, because we do work with those, and there's certainly a big place for that. But we did want more characters, characters that, they can laugh and are very comfortable and with themselves and in front of the camera and bring something to the table. So, they might be musicians or skateboarders or, actors or actresses or something, DJs or different sort of industries. So they don't just rely on this as their solid work as well. They do this because it's a bit of extra income and it's fun. So and that is what we wanted.
A skateboarding musician lawyer is always more interesting than just the model, I would think.
Don't say I do know one of those.
Oh, really? Okay. You see, I try and make it as like diverse.
Yeah, as you can. It's like, what is it? A skateboarding, DJ, tattoo artist. Anyway,
I know someone. Hold on, here they are.
Yeah, exactly. Bring it.
And then Vanessa says, Vanessa Lewis says, Jodie's also an excellent stylist. Loved working with her on my book, Little Tables. So and that's a talented family, hey? The Lewis family. Yeah.
Completely, yeah. I mean, we had such a great time working on that book, because I'd sort of gotten out of styling, but I really love this. And because also I don't have kids. So for me, actually working with kids, we did this project over 2 years. And it was like creating these little sets, which were really nice. I say little because all the people were little.
Yes.
Where they did amazing recipes, and we sort of themed it. Each shoot was a themed shoot, and it was a lot of fun. I was kind of like I said, because I don't have kids, it would be like, okay, what's your size? What's your age? It was good. It was a good learning curve for me.
Absolutely. I mean, they say don't work with animals and kids, and they got good.
I work with a lot of both.
No, that's crazy. I'm kind of looking over at the live stream, and I see it says video interrupted. So maybe Facebook has decided to cut us, but this is still recording, so this will go up on YouTube without us being unceremoniously dumped. But I'm just going through the questions. I think we've pretty much covered what was there. But I suppose as we wrap it up, thank you very much for taking the time to kind of give us your insights, etc. I thought it was fantastic. I really appreciate it. I'm so glad that I managed to nag and finally,
it's very stressful for me. Like I said, I prefer to be the one on the other side of the camera these days, bragging about my guys. That's why you always see me saying something.
Exactly. And I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat, I find myself as like, why, but I'm glad I got you on.
Nice question. You're really great.
The nice thing about this platform is that it's given me the opportunity to meet a whole lot of awesome people, but also to showcase these amazing talents that are out there that you don't get to see. You may be a photographer and you may have shot millions of images, but you may not know that there's this photographer staying in Kimberley who's done international work or whatever. And for me, it's just really exciting to be able to showcase the talent that we have. And as I was saying to you, with your initiative, please, we can use this platform to showcase their stuff. I like the idea of having here's a project and this is what we did, and it doesn't have to be an hour. It can be a shorter thing, but I think it's just cool to showcase new things that are different, things that are challenging. Well, as challenging as Facebook will allow us, because we've had one warning from Facebook on some.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Some lurid content.
Well, yes. So I need to as much as I'm happy to push the boat out, I need to put my Facebook filter on and go, will this cause me problems? But absolutely. If you've got some of those projects that you want to showcase, if you've got some of some other photographers that you manage that you want to showcase, just let me know, and I'll make a space, you know.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, let's do something with the luminaries for sure.
Yeah.
And don't worry, there's no nakedness there yet. Okay. Well, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Thanks, Jodie.
Vincent.
Really appreciate it. Have a good afternoon. Hey.
Yeah, you too.
All right. Bye.
Okay.